Children, today we are going to discuss about Ampere's circuital law and its application to infinitely long straight wire. Okay, now just as a Gauss law in alternative form of Coulomb's law, whatever we have studied in the electrostatics, similarly we have this Ampere's circuital law as the alternative form for the Biot-Savart law in the magnetostatics. Okay, so Ampere's circuital law gives the relation between the line integral of the magnetic field B and the total current I which produces that particular field. Okay, so what this law states, so let us first of all understand the statement of the law, and then we will understand how to find out the proof and what is the actual meaning of the law. Okay, so Ampere's circuital law states that the line integral of the magnetic field vector B around any closed circuit is equal to mu naught. What is mu naught? Mu naught is permeability of a free space, or we can say that it is a permeability constant. So it is equal to mu naught times the total current I threading. Now what is meant by the threading of the loop? It is called as a I passing through that closed loop. This is very important, that the Amperian loop is considered to be a closed loop. Okay, so if I want to find out the mathematical expression, then it will be like this. So this is the symbol for the line integral over a closed loop. Okay, so line integral over a closed loop, B dot dl, so vector B dot vector dl is equal to mu naught times the current threaded by the loop, or the current passing through that particular closed loop. Okay, so in the simplified form, the Ampere's circuital law can state that if field B is directed along the tangent to every point on the perimeter, that is called as a L, of a closed curve, and its magnitude is constant, then BL is called as BL, this is the perimeter, B is the magnetic field, is equal to mu naught times the current through that particular current carrying loop. Okay, so I is called as a net current enclosed by that particular closed loop, and closed curve is called as the Amperian loop. Okay, so here we are considering this closed loop or closed curve is called as Amperian loop. As you remember, whenever we studied the Gauss theorem, we have considered the Gaussian surface which is holding the charge, isn't it? In the similar way, in this magnetism concept or magnetic effect of electric current concept, we are considering that Amperian loop is considered to be a closed curve. Okay, which is considered as a geometrical entity and not a real wire loop. This is very important. So it is not a real wire loop, but it is considered to be a geometrically shaped entity. Okay, so we want to find out the proof of this particular Ampere's circuital law for a straight current carrying conductor. Okay, so let us consider that this is a infinitely long current carrying conductor carrying the current I. Okay, now from the Biot-Savart law, we have studied that the magnitude of the magnetic field B due to current carrying conductor at any point at a distance r from the particular wire is given by B is equal to. So I will apply here Biot-Savart law. For the current carrying straight infinitely long wire. Okay, B is equal to mu naught I upon 2 pi r. Okay, now let us understand in this diagram. Okay, now you can understand that whenever the current carrying wire is there and the current is flowing through this particular wire, I can say that the magnitude of the magnetic field at the different circle is different. Okay, suppose very close to the particular current carrying wire, the loop is a circular loop only, okay, but the strength of the magnitude of the magnetic field is higher, isn't it? And at that, as you go on moving away from that particular center of the wire or from the wire, then the magnetic field goes on decreasing, okay. But for a particular circular loop at a equidistant, that is suppose r, everywhere at r distance the magnitude of the magnetic field is constant. And how the direction is created now, isn't it? Now again we are applying here right hand thumb rule for a straight conductor which is carrying a current, okay. So again we are going to consider that if the current is carrying in this direction, isn't it, current is carrying in this direction, the direction of the magnetic field will be in this manner, yes, okay. So it will be considered as a anti-clockwise manner. So that's what here the lines of forces are considered to be in the anti-clockwise manner, okay. Now what we are going to find out and how we are going to find out what is dl, what is b dot dl. So for that, in this particular diagram, the field B is directed along the circumference of this particular circle, okay, which is having the radius r, small r, okay, with the wire is considered as a center, okay. The magnitude of the magnetic field is same for all the points on this particular circle. To evaluate the line integral of the magnetic field B, vector B, along the circle, we will consider the small element or call it as a length element, okay. So this we are not considering as a current element as we considered for the previous law, isn't it, for the ideal sine theta, okay. So this is considered as a length element, a small length element of this loop only, okay. So this is also direction, because this particular at this place the direction of the dl is in this direction according to the anti-clockwise manner, isn't it? So as we are tracing the circle in the anti-clockwise manner, so at this point what is the direction of the dl? Direction of the dl will be in this direction. At this point the direction of the dl will be in this direction. So at every point we can find out the length element dl, isn't it? And you can see that now, as this is the length element and various different length elements can be plotted on this particular imaginary loop, isn't it, or circular loop. But at that point also the magnetic field is in this direction outward, yes, okay. So we can see that this magnitude of the magnetic field at every point of the circle remains same, but the direction is along the length element dl. So every place the length element dl bar or vector dl and magnetic field vector b bar are in the same direction, yes, okay. So we can consider the small length element, so that now this is the tangent drawn at the place or at the place of the circle. So this tangent is nothing but dl also, and this tangent shows the direction of the magnetic field also. And that's what we can say, that the angle between the magnetic field at this point is directed in this direction, and the length element dl is also in the same direction. So the angle between b and dl is 0. So as we know that angle theta, I will write down angle theta between vector b and length element dl is equal to 0, because at every place it is in the same direction. Therefore if I plot it here, vector b dot dl, vector dl, then dot product is there, so we can have here magnitude b dl cos 0, because angle is 0, and we can have here b dl at this particular place, okay. Now this is only the case of one length element dl, this particular length element dl. Now if I want to find out the close integral or the line integral of the magnetic field along the complete circular path, then I must take the line integral of a closed loop. This is a closed loop, and which is called as a Amperian loop, okay. So therefore I will write down here the line integral over a closed loop of b dot dl is equal to line integral of, now this is nothing but what, now b dl, because the angle between B and dl is 0. So cos 0 is 1 and we are getting B dl, isn't it? Now magnetic field, as I said, at every point of this particular circular loop, the magnetic field is constant, or the value remains same. Therefore B is taken outside, and now I will apply again line integral over complete dl. Okay, now we can consider here how the integration is done. Okay, now for this one we can say that this is equal to B. Okay, then line integral. Now only dl is there, so we know that whenever only dl is there, then L raised to 0 is considered. Now L raised to 0 is nothing but 1. Okay, and the value will remain as a dl only. Okay, now we will apply the integration method or integration formula for that, and this integration formula explains us that this value is equal to, okay, we are applying what formula? X raised to n plus 1 upon n plus 1 for the integration. B is constant, L raised to 0, so I will write down here L raised to 0 plus 1 upon 0 plus 1. Okay, now this value comes out to be B and L, because L raised to 0 plus 1, L raised to 1 and 0 plus 1, 1. So it will be BL. Okay, so now I got the value that here this is nothing but BL. Okay, now we have studied that this, according to this formula, B is equal to mu naught I upon 2 pi r. So I'll write down here, instead of B, I'll write down now mu naught I upon 2 pi r multiplied by, this is the L. Okay, now this L is considered as a perimeter. Okay, now we know that the length of the wire, this complete length of the wire, is nothing but the circumference of the wire. Okay, so I will write down here L is nothing but 2 pi r. This is also very important. Okay, so mu naught I upon 2 pi r into, again this L is nothing but 2 pi r. Okay, so this 2 pi r getting cancelled out, and we are getting here line integral over a closed loop B dot dl is nothing but mu naught times I threaded by the loop. And this is the law which we have considered it as a Ampere circuital law, and this is the formula we got it, whatever we have written here. This is BL. Okay, here L is a perimeter, this is also the perimeter, is nothing but the circumference of the Amperian loop. So this proves the Ampere's law. This law is valid for any assembly of current and for any closed loop, any arbitrarily closed loop, whatever we can, suppose we can choose the rectangular Amperian loop also, circular Amperian loop also, depending on that particular current carrying wire's shape, isn't it? So this is the proof of the Ampere's circuital law. Thank you.